Hi everyone!
Hey.
Welcome to the Friday live stream. Yes, I know, we're starting this one late. We were busy giving out posters for our campaign. We gotta make sure that all of the local shops know what's going down. Of course, for those of you who don't know, we have the Horizon Quest campaign, which is live right now. Almost have $2,000 raised. Looking good so far. Not too bad for the first 2 days, huh?
It's my birth year. Right there.
Oh, the 1994.
Mm-hmm.
You think? You're not sure?
No.
It's just funny because you're like, I think. Hey, Pastel Starchild saying my birthday is tomorrow.
Hey.
Nice.
Happy
Early birthday.
Early birthday.
We'll be the first to wish you a happy birthday then. So, happy Good Friday. We can say that now.
Yeah. Good Friday and happy Easter. We a bunch of the places were like happy, whatever you celebrate.
Happy spring.
Is there even another holiday that happens on Easter? I don't even think there is.
I don't know. No other April holidays really spring out at me quite like Easter.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's my fancy notepad. Everyone ready to see fancy notepad?
It is a nice notepad.
See that? It's like you put the pen in and then you oh.
Yes. The pen keeps it closed.
Yeah.
It's nice. You get to look like a real professional taking out the notebook.
I'm a journalist, dude.
Oh yeah, you're full-time writer over here.
Oh yeah, that's how you know.
Otherwise, we wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's up, everybody? How's your Friday been?
Has it been good?
Has it been, in fact, good? It's been a relatively okay Friday, I think. We spent most of the day just, driving around, handing out posters, talking with folks.
Finding places with signs that said closed for Good Friday.
Well, it was just one place, I think. But yeah, we're hitting up comic shops and stuff, asking if they'd like to hang up a poster for some local artists, writers, creators. Get to spread some news. That's like the super old way of doing it, right? You just like hand out flyers and hopefully you get a little bit of traffic and then word of mouth. And that's how they used to do it anyways. Of course, internet works better, but it's also nice to have a nice talk with real people out in the real life world. Sometimes it's just not the same when you're online discussing things.
It was super neat. Got caught up like chitty chatting with people.
Yeah, definitely. You never know the reach with that. No, that's true, yeah. But
yeah, one guy was like, "Oh, we'll put a poster in everybody's bag when they check out." It's like, awesome.
He also mentioned when we came in there that nobody else has come in there. So
he's like, I've been spending all day talking to myself. Like,
oh, so comic shop's been doing good, huh? You know how it is these days, guys. It's rough being in the comic business. He doesn't even have any manga in his shop. It's like 90% Funko Pops.
It's all back issues and
Funko
Pops.
Yeah,
mostly Funko Pops, and then there's like some action figures or something.
Yeah, he has some pretty neat action figures, of course, but like, how often do people really buy these like more expensive, super premium giant statues,
They used to be my go-to for your birthday.
Oh yeah. Well, you gotta save up to get that stuff.
Well, they're not that expensive.
Some of them are really expensive.
Yeah, but I didn't buy those.
Sure.
Because I figured then you would be like, it costs too much. You wouldn't like it as much. Like you feel bad or something.
Fair enough.
It's like my grandpa. It's like
They get excited about the deal more than they do the gift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
there's like a Seinfeld joke about that.
Like my grandfather is like he's like super like sick and whatever. So he's in a place and he's like super bored and there's nothing for him to do. And so we were like, oh, we should get him a computer and then he can watch movies and listen to music on it and stuff. And we asked him, and then my aunt was like, you know, she's like, you want to get do you want a computer? Like she's like, you know, and he's like, oh no. And then me and my brother called him like separately, and we're like, oh Papa, we got it's this old computer. It's, you know, basically garbage, just lying around. Like we thought you could use it.
Wink, wink.
And it's like, oh, but it's newer than your old. And he's like, oh yeah, it's old. Oh, you don't have any. It's useless. Like
No, I'll take it.
real hunk of junk. He's like, oh, that sounds great. Like he was like real happy about it. But if he knew it was a new computer,
brand new computer, then he'd be like, oh no, I can't take that.
Yeah. So we got the new computer. My brother's like, think we should weather this a little bit? He's like, I'll take off some of these stickers. I was like, no. Don't take off the stickers. Just chip at the sides of the stickers so they're kind of hanging on there. Like the old stickers. You picked it. He's like, yeah, you just want to get out the mace and just bash up the corner over here. It's like,
yeah. Kind of feel bad for my local store for having to deal with those bad comics. Oh yeah. They're so hard to move.
well, like I've been in some comic shops where they buy the ones that they're not going to sell, and it's just like, why? You know,
It's write-offs.
yeah, like why? Like they get those, you know, giant thick stack of like Nubia or whatever it was, or like where the Aqua woman is like cheating on somebody, whatever that
the
comic was.
Mara Tidebreaker one, yeah.
Yeah, it's like all the ones that we hacked up outside.
Those comics, yeah.
Ugh.
We saw stacks of those.
You know what doesn't come across in the video is how goddamn loud it was. Like, part of the reason I wasn't hitting it as hard as I could was because it was so loud.
Yeah, it was hurting my ears.
Like, we got inside
in real time.
After a while, I was like, I gotta just hit these. Like, as we're getting further on, I was like, I'm gonna try and hit these as hard as I can. And then they were bouncing so much.
Yeah, that was
But,
another problem, right?
You know, there's like a big reset after you hit one of the things. But no, it was so loud. It was like ringing in our ears.
Yes.
Like,
and then when we go over the video, it was like nothing.
yeah, the video doesn't pick it up.
Yeah.
Although I think they edited out a lot of the sounds.
I have a question about Harkon. Can he use magic? Not a magic guy.
No, not a magic guy.
Not a magic guy. He uses pure willpower and need to kill evil.
Yeah. My inspiration, I guess I always kind of thought of the non-magic using guy as like sort of boring. I guess maybe because I grew up at a time where like special effects and stuff were more expensive than like a fight choreography kind of like thing. So I started kind of thinking about mundane non-magic using characters as like less exciting. And then I think it was like the trailer for Dragon Age, the first Dragon Age came out. And then they had that guy with the shield and sword, which I guess is like the player character. And he's just like slaughtering those darkspawn. Just like, you know, and it was just like well done. And like, I think what it was the sword actually cuts people. And like when you see the sword actually work, it's much cooler than when it's just like people getting knocked out or the sword never works. It's like, so like
I hit him with the blunt end.
You know what I mean? Like Ninja Turtles, the guy with the sword never hits anybody because if he did, he'd like kill them and it'd be all bloody, right?
Right.
You could kill robots, but it's like they make swords feel completely ineffective. But then seeing actual creatures getting like cut with swords, I was like, oh, maybe I kind of was looking at this the wrong way. Maybe it can be cool. And so, yeah. And then I was thinking, you know, if he has magic, maybe it kind of distracts from that innate physical skill.
Well, another thing is with all the characters, we want them to be very balanced and like precise with what they're good at and like where their skills lie. That's all the more reason for them to like come together and be able to work together as a team to fill in the spots that they're not quite as expertised in. That was terrible sentence structure, but you get my point. Oh yeah, it's like fire on new TV shows. Just pushes people. Yeah, explosion happened, just pushed you. You're not burned or anything. Very true. But yeah, you wanna talk about Horizon Quest?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Yeah, when we ended the stream last time, you're like, "Oh man, there's all this other stuff that I wanted to talk about." And
yeah, I don't know. I guess I kind of like said a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing comes to mind at the moment. I think I just like quickly rapid fired everything I was thinking last time.
maybe we need just more questions.
It'll just randomly come to me, I think.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think this will turn out to be a nice comic when it comes out.
I think so too.
I was so happy to have so many people excited about it. I'm sometimes worried that when I'm too late to jump on a genre that's becoming popular again, I'm always super worried that like I miss it and now nobody will be interested in this anymore. But I guess people are always kind of interested in fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy's the fucking best.
You get worried though when there's so many like isekai and other like shitty fantasies coming out that maybe people will lose their interest and maybe people won't give it a shot when you're like doing your own thing. But
I don't mind isekais, but
well, me neither. But you know, sometimes they just all feel the same.
There's just only isekais.
Yeah.
There's different variants of isekais, but there's like a popular one with like the Korean stuff where it's like a video game that you can make money on. Because I know there's a lot of Korean MMOs where you can cash out.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Because I was, yeah, there's a bunch of. I sometimes see forum posts of people are like looking for good games to like make money in cash. It's like I don't think that's a real career.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a guy who made some kind of post that he made a lot of money in like Diablo 3 when it launched or whatever by hoarding items and selling them or whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah, having, you know, family members that have had some issues with gambling, I can't imagine myself ever necessarily promoting a pro gambling thing. That's closest I've ever gotten is having fun playing Sonic 2 in the casino levels. But it, you know, it's not real gambling for those levels. It's just like whatever.
Yeah. I think we said, I was thinking about this earlier. I think we said last time, or you said last time, like phone games are like gambling addiction. It's kind of different, but it's like
some are.
Right? Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's the loot. There's the loot boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more complicated than that. I think it's like worse. Something that can happen. I've heard this with like MMO addiction is like when someone's life isn't going super well, an MMO can mimic a job and give you success and social status.
Yeah.
So like when you're leader of a guild, you're like managing people and stuff. So it's like
you're like releasing the serotonin in your brain, like, man, I'm so successful in this game, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but phone games are weird. They're so
a lot of microtransaction type stuff.
How they work is kind of weird. Like everything on timers is interesting because the real life timer of like 5 minutes, every 5 minutes you get another energy. And so you think like no matter what you're doing, you're like, oh, it's not as bad that I have to spend this time in class. Because when I get out of class, I'll have 5 energy for every 10 minutes. The class is an hour. And so I get like, whatever, easy math that I can do, like 12 energy or something. Yeah. Yeah. And then, but then the marketing thing with that is like it trains you to be thinking about it when you're not doing it?
Think about it all the time. It's like yeah, because you become it becomes like a habit to like check to make sure you're still making progress in that thing, even though it doesn't really matter whatever progress you make.
So if
in
you
that
max
thing.
out your energy, right, then it's like, oh, I got to get back. Otherwise, I could be gaining energy. But if I could just spend this energy, so that I would be gaining energy all the time.
Basically, do you have any advice for designing comic page layouts? I don't. I don't really think I'm particularly good at comic page layouts per se. I don't know if I would take my own advice, but you know, for a lot of stuff, you're just like looking at how other panels are organized and easily readable in other comics, and you think about what would fit in what panel depending on their size. And yeah, I don't have any particular advice I can give on that though. How does Fairly Odd Parents get so many reboots, but Jimmy Neutron barely gets any attention? Jimmy Neutron got one spin-off, and then people hated it into oblivion.
I think because Jimmy Neutron looks like nightmare fuel. Like,
yeah, and the spin-off looked worse. So that's kind of
I'm
that's kind of
surprised
how
though,
that
because
goes.
you can pump out really cheap 3D things, and he's supposed to be 3D. So
Yeah, but the thing with the Jimmy Neutron spin-off was Planet Sheen, right? And somehow they made it way uglier. Like all the colors were off, the animation, like they didn't know what they were doing. It was just like comparing it side by side to the actual Jimmy Neutron original show, or even the movie, which was older but still had like decent animation. It's like
that's
night
right.
and day.
It was a movie.
It was a movie first, yeah, and then that went off into the beginning of the show. It's a good movie too. I mean, I like Jimmy Neutron, even if it is like 3D, and that's not my particular cup of tea when it comes to animation in general. But it was decent. Back in the barnyard, apparently, the 3 shows take place in the same world. I didn't know about that. That's kind of odd to imagine, but I have a question. Would you like a video game adaptation of Horizon Quest? What do you think, Adam? Would you like one? May I have some video game adaptation?
Yeah, I mean, nah.
You see, for me personally, if I were to have any adaptation of any of my comics, I would obviously almost consistently always go for like the animated series. I would want like the anime treatment for one of my comics. But video games, I like them, but they're not my thing per se. They're not the end all to, oh, I'll be happy, I'll die happy if I get a video game adaptation based on my thing. For me, that the big thing is the animated series.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, I guess. If you have an adaptation that's too faithful, then the original material becomes kind of pointless. And if the adaptation is too good, it also makes the original material pointless. Whereas, like, I kind of feel like a good adaptation is something you enjoy alongside it, but I don't really know what makes a good adaptation like that, because we have mostly terrible adaptations, like all the Marvel movies.
There's some good adaptations.
And like modern Marvel comics are kind of like an adaptation of Marvel comics, They're like just terrible.
Yeah, now all the comics are the adaptation of the movie in like Marvel stuff. And I mean, obviously, the anime industry kind of knows what they're doing with adaptations. They've been doing pretty consistently well. And I would say that like the quality of their stuff is like jumping up in recent years, because now the bar is just like keeps being raised higher and higher. But not that nothing has ever been well adapted in the States. It's just like a little bit more rare.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like The Witcher. Most people only know the games and not the short stories.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good example, I guess.
Lord of the Rings, people enjoy the books and the movies. So that's a kind of... But obviously, dreaming of a Lord of the Rings quality adaptation is a bit like fanciful. I know like The Hobbit wasn't great, and all the things that came after were horrifyingly bad, but
Yeah, a good adaptation to me would be one that's faithful, but also puts a new spin on the original formula, like what Powerpuff Girls Z did for the original cartoon. Those are a method of doing that. I mean, if I wanted an animated series of my comic, I wouldn't want them to put a spin on anything. I would just want them to faithfully adapt
you know what? You know, it's a really good adaptation. The Godfather game. So the Godfather movies follow this like plot that I never saw the movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just played the game. My dad was always watching the movie, but I didn't like really understand it. But the game, so all these things happen in the movie where like, so for instance, there's a famous scene where somebody gets a gun that was stashed in the tank of a toilet, and then he kills someone in a restaurant after he's been checked for guns. Your job in the game is to be the guy who puts it in the toilet. So you do a stealth mission to sneak into you like work in the restaurant or whatever, and then you put it in the toilet, and then the cutscene plays out like the movie. And then there's a famous scene where the guy wakes up and there's a horse head in his bed, and he's like, there's all his blood. You're the guy. Yeah, you're sneaking into the house on a stealth mission to get the horse head in there.
And I like that. That's pretty genius.
Every scene has to do with everything that happened in the movie just kind of happened, but then you're the guy who did the stuff. When the guy gets shot in the car, you drive. You were the guy that they sent out to go follow him, and then you go back and tell him what happened. It's like, we there was a hit on this guy. It's like, you do it. There's like a scene in the movie where somebody gets killed in like a massage parlor or whatever. You're the guy who actually has to shoot him and kill all the guards.
That is a pretty funny twist. I forget what I was going to say before, but
I've seen The Godfather since. I think it's one of those movies I've only seen it once, but I've only seen it once with all the scenes in order. And then I've seen it like 500 times, like random scenes, like my dad is watching or whatever, because, dads.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like new movie adaptations of things, the idea, like obviously a lot of books are difficult to put into movie form because usually the books, what they're describing is much more longer, much more detailed and into the story than what you gotta fit on the screen. But I think the overall idea should be, if you're going to change things for the adaptation, you should try to make it better and not worse.
Yeah.
Which some people have their own interpretation of what is better. Some people think they have to fix things in the story that are a problem. But, at the end of the day, it's all interpretation, I suppose.
Yeah, that's another interesting one. Is like speaking of like Italian stuff, the Jersey Boys play was like, it's like the Four Seasons was this like, I guess, I don't know, a cappella band, like a quartet band or whatever, and then they got a musical made of them, and then people were like, oh my god, I remember that band or whatever. But the person who produced the musical, like, got the people singing or whatever, was the main guy from the band, or one of the people in the band. And so he only wanted like the best, meaning like better than he was at the time. So he got people that were the voices he wished that he and his friends had, and then he made them sing better.
Oh man.
And he was producing it, so he changed all the songs how he thought they should have been at the time. And so he did an adaptation of himself.
That's pretty great though. That's pretty good. I would want to do the same thing.
re-release a new version of everything.
Just fix all the mistakes that I realize I made in whatever I made. Is
You and like the artists that you get like to do the adaptation, you ride them really hard. You're like, you criticize their art harder than your own. You're like slapping the pen out of their hand, like, not good enough. Like Gordon Ramsay.
Imagine a Gordon Ramsay like comic or animation show.
What are you drinking, Gatorade? Are you an idiot? You hydrate with water. Slap them.
Oh God.
You start calling people Muppets and stuff.
You fucking donut. Yeah, some of the best insults.
And then you, while they're working, you like cook like scallops badly, and then you make them eat them. You're like, go sit over there and eat them with fancy wine. Feel bad. I cooked these scallops wrong just for you.
Just for you. Just to punish you for making a bad adaptation.
And I guess is also Fight Club is like worth mentioning as far as like adaptations go. The guy who wrote it thought that the movie was better than his book, which I think it's pretty complimentary, I would say, with the adaptation. I also feel bad for him.
It would take a lot for me to say that like the adaptation is better than what I did.
Yeah, he felt embarrassed, like he should have been working harder.
Oh,
That's a weird one.
That's a weird feeling.
Yeah. But something something he mentioned is he meant the story to be more of a romance, but if you read the book, it's like
not.
I got that from it.
To be fair, I only saw the movie, and romance was the furthest thing from my mind.
Yeah, the movie people thought of as a romance more than his book.
Right.
But you know. Yeah.
But yeah. So if one day we ever get if anyone offers a Horizon Quest adaptation, I would hear them out, but I wouldn't be expecting too much, to be brutally honest.
Don't think people can make good video games. I mean, when you have a party-based thing, you can kind of just do a turn-based, like, RPG Maker kind of thing without, like, too much, I don't know.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, RPG Maker.
Yeah. That would make sense, you know.
Those kind of games are like 100% writing, though. You know, you gotta, because it's just like a picture of them and then like a big wall of like text, like Fire Emblem or something.
Yeah, you know, it's funny now that I got the cover up. I had on the posters that we were handing out to people, asking if we could like put them up in the window and stuff like that. We had the cover on, and one of the shop owners mentioned that it would be inappropriate to put up the poster. You can guess why, right? It's so inappropriate.
I don't know which one they were talking about, because the poster...
child would be in the store. You cannot let them see.
They're nice and stuff, you know,
Yeah,
but like
sure.
they were like, oh, we're family oriented. Womp, 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 womp.
It's just a little bit ironic, as we had seen profanity.
Oh, they had like Fuck
merch
Fridays and stuff like on a mug
in their store
yeah,
previously.
it's just, it doesn't say like Bleep Fridays, it says Fuck Fridays.
But boobies are no good. Can't have that. It's
funny.
Inappropriate for my child.
And it's like yeah, I was like
So I was a little bit miffed, but that's fine.
or it says like bitch please on the mugs and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck.
Very wine mom profanity. We're so edgy. Look at how edgy we are. We know how to curse because we're adults.
She's very nice. So I think, I don't know.
Sure.
I was kind of thinking of the same thing with like the
heaving mountains of joy. Yes, that's it. I see more inappropriate on TV and the grocery store. Yeah, like those magazines at the grocery store. I could see those.
Can you believe they fucked?
Wow. Booba is not inappropriate. I saw worse as a kid at the video store. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I drew it naturally, so I don't really see anything super wrong with it. Yes, she has big boobs. But is that really it?
Yeah, I mean, I've told the story
Is that
before.
really the only thing that you can see when you see the cover?
Yeah.
It's not like they're covering up the entire cover.
I mean, I've told you stories before of like people at my college being like very upset about just girls having large breasts. Like you think it's like unrealistic, like depiction is like the thing. So it's like, oh, that's an unrealistic depiction, but it's like, well, that's so it's like fine if you're looking at like anime, it's like, oh, their boobs are too big, which I don't really think really happens in anime.
It's not as common as people think it is.
I don't think it's common at all. But so there is Uzaki-chan as an example. So like, oh,
Sure.
that's an unrealistic depiction or whatever. But then when you see these people meet actual women with large boobs that aren't overweight, they're like so upset. Like they can't handle it. They're like,
Their reality has been broken in front of them. They're like, no, you're not supposed to exist.
yeah, it's like, or they're like, they're fake. And it's like,
yeah.
What? I remember that one time these people were like talking shit about this one girl and just like she's promoting an unhealthy lifestyle was something they said. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then the actual girl walked in and was like, oh, I need a model for like I need to draw for because I missed the model in class or art class or whatever. It's like, and then she just like somehow shoehorned into the conversation. She's thinking about getting a breast reduction, and then she leaves like 2 minutes later. Like that's the only thing she said was, I need a foot model. Oh, this is my name. And then like, oh, I'm thinking of getting breast reduction. And then left with the person to draw. And then they were like, oh, she's really cool. And it's like, she said nothing other than her name. And then she wanted a breast reduction. It's like, oh, she submitted to us.
Oh, good. She's gonna get rid of the offensive part of her body.
Yeah, it's like, but like I remember, I remember having arguments with people where it's like, oh, but it hurts your back. You know, it hurts your back, and it's like, but you can like go to the gym. The gym.
Trauma, like no, not the gym.
I don't know.
The people get some pretty crazy reactions sometimes. But yeah, obviously it's not a big deal. You know, we went to other places and they were fine with having the posters up.
That's right. Never's exes. I'll give you two guesses as to why. My sister hated my exes. Give you 2 guesses as to why.
I can only imagine. No, not the bees. You're dying already.
I got it. I get it.
But yeah.
It's always funny people's like perspective on the gym. It's like, I don't want someone who spends like an hour in the gym every day. It's like,
yeah, people who treat it as though it's only a place for the vain.
Yeah, that's a weird one. There was, I remember a girl being like, I don't want a guy who spends an hour in the gym. And I was like, well, an hour, like how? What do you mean, like a week? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, well, that's not a good workout. I was like, oh, or like, and she's like, oh no, like she changed it after I gave a weird reaction. Like, well, that's not a lot of exercise. And they're like, a day, and I was like, okay, so they have to spend less. But I was like trying to figure, I was like, well, how long should they be working out? Because if you're getting in a 40-minute workout, you're like supersetting everything. Like that's a really intense workout. Like it's like if you spend 2 hours in the gym, like you're talking to people and stuff. Like you're not, if you spend like an hour and 15, hour and a half, I feel like that's like a relaxed workout. Like you got it done, whatever. But it's just like funny when I think of a 40-minute workout, I think of like supersets and like you're done with your arms. Now it's time to like go crazy with your legs and like I'm done with my abs. Now it's time to like wrap a chain around my head and use my neck, like every muscle.
It's time to do the like Mr. Incredible workout where he's just lifting the chains with the trains on them. Yeah, that's an hour workout right there.
But yeah, but you know what I mean. It's like if you get a 40-minute workout, and that's an intense workout. Whereas like if they spend an hour there, that's like you're getting a workout done in like a reasonable time frame. But it's just that because 30-minute is like a different kind of workout, and then it's just 40-minute. When I think of that, it's like that's own thing. But yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is.
It's also really funny when people are like, when girls are like, oh, I want to not be fat, but like I don't want to get like ripped, and so I don't want to work out too much. It's like, listen, if you go to the gym once and then you become ripped, I will buy your training video, okay? Because if you have that problem, I would like
I would like to have your problems.
I want you to be my trainer. Like if you accidentally get ripped, please come train me.
It's like that one anime, how heavy are the dumbbells you lift?
Oh,
and she's
oops.
like, she's like scared, like, oh, I want to lose weight and work out, but I don't want to get like ripped like these monsters. But then she actually gets into it and starts getting ripped.
It's like you will not have to worry about it. There's no guy, like guys build muscle faster. There's no guy out there who's like, oh no, I went to the gym and now my traps are so big I can't turn my head.
Oh no.
What happened? I can't put my arms down because my biceps are too big.
Yeah. I want her genetics if she gets jacked.
Yeah, it's like you want her blood to experiment on, like you'll become
like
a super
She-Hulk blood.
if she goes to the gym and there's so many girls have said that to me. It's like, oh, I don't want to get like jacked. And it's like, oh, you won't.
Yeah,
it's like listen, you're not. Like you have to really mean it. Like
yeah. It's like, yeah, aren't most girls there just for the booty boost? It seems like it, yes.
That's like the one thing you can like very very consistently do, because you can't like spot reduce, right? So like when you start losing weight, you're gonna kind of it's kind of pre-prescribed what you're gonna end up looking like, fatter, lighter, as far as I know. But you can give yourself a massive ass by doing like squats and whatever exercises.
You hear that, ladies? You at home can get a massive ass.
Yeah.
Just gotta believe in yourself.
And if there are any ladies out there who do go to the gym after this, and you get accidentally jacked and you can't get into your car because you're so fucking massive,
contact Adam.
Yeah, let me know
what you did.
We'll set up another Indiegogo selling your blood for people to inject into themselves to become fucking monsters. We'll sell them to the Russian. There's like,
we will turn you into a monster.
I've told the story before, but I was watching this like Russian slap fighting tournament, as you do, which is just like dudes standing at a table slapping each other, taking turns slapping each other as hard as they can. So there was like an embedded advertisement in the video, and it was about what you'd expect. And like
right.
so for like US health advertising and stuff, it would be like a fit couple like going for a hike, whatever. But this was like, and they would look handsome, right? This guy didn't look handsome. He didn't look ugly. He looked villainous. Like he was so scary looking. He looked like that guy from Dragon Ball Z that has the M on it. He's the bald guy with the M on his forehead. That was like one of the Majin Buu people, like before whatever. That's what his face looked like. I bet someone will know. Someone will know who that is. But yeah, it was like he had like a onesie on or something like that. He was like this
it's like some Bane character.
Or singlet, I think is what it's called. Yeah, no, it was like, anyway, it was just this Russian dude who looked like evil. He's like sinister. He's not on a hike, and there's no smiling lady with a clipboard like safe and tested. It's like all these scary looking scientists like surrounding him writing and stuff, and they have like syringes just out like flicking them and stuff, and he's sitting in
for their strengths.
He's sitting in a chair that can be restrained, like he's on a cold metal chair, and he's like, yes, give me all the power. Like he's got these huge veins in his neck, like it's just like complete.
That's what Russians want to be.
Untested. The police cannot stop you. Not natural. Nothing is natural in this. We took the natural ingredients. We got them out of there. Everything is synthesized, even the water.
This is the T virus.
We got the water out of the blood of gorillas. Like, there's nothing in here that's safe. Spopovich? Let's see.
Spopovich?
If that's right. Yeah, that's him. I can see already from his lower half. Yeah, this is the guy. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
He looked exactly
Okay.
like Spopovich, except with a more pointy chin.
Okay.
A more sinister chin than Spopovich from Dragon Ball Z.
I can kind of see that, sure.
Yeah.
I keep getting ads saying cardio is bad for you because it puts your body in survival mode, so you pack on more weight. What do I do if that happens, Adam? Please, I must know.
You keep on getting ads saying that?
What the heck?
You're watching too many slap fighting tournaments. My friend was like saying this like Ukrainian guy at his gym is like, oh, I hate this Amazon job, man. It's killing my gains. I have to walk up all these lawns. I hate cardio. Oh. He's like super mad about walking anywhere.
Killing my gains. I can imagine that.
He's like a trainer, and he won't walk over to the door where like his client is. He's like,
here.
He's about to get a mobility scooter out so he can have more gains. Like, I don't understand the dude science behind that. I don't know if it's true at all. I just know that like people say
I've
that.
never heard that. No. But that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I dare talk about my experience watching the Mario movie? I feel like I've already like given a pretty concise review on Twitter.
You know, since we're talking about Horizon Kiss, can we talk about the insane amount of spam on the campaign?
Oh, sure. You should do.
Oh.
Yeah. So that people can see.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the comments,
23
discussion,
23 comments, and there's like
how much do you think of that is legit?
One guy was like, "What the hell is with all these?"
It's like all fuck. Okay, that guy's a backer, right? But it's like all fucking spam. Like this is a
there was one guy who was like, "What's with all the spam?"
There's so much. It's
buried
ridiculous.
In here. Hey, there's a guy.
There's so much spam already. It's been up for 2 days. 2 days on this campaign, and we have so much spam. And I've been reporting them all.
There was one guy who was like, "Oh, it's
I report them all, but they don't get immediately removed or anything. And then I just keep on getting more and more and more spam.
Absolutely shameless, like putting their
dear campaign creator. Real work being done over here.
And they put their Fiverr link to like promote it. Listen,
well, you know that the Fiverr shit is just like some bot collecting money and not doing shit. But
yeah, but I'm just 420. I'm just like, why would I want to hire someone who is spamming people's comment section to promote themselves? You can't promote yourself. If this is how you're advertising yourself, it's like
this is a serious problem. They should have looked into this. Like people mentioned how like on YouTube, that guy.
There's like one guy out there who's like, what's with all these promotions? Like
people complain about spam on YouTube. It's not nearly as bad as this. Yeah. Campaign's been up for 2 days, and there's like 20 spam comments for this.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I read the Twitter thread. I'm sad. Yeah, I gotta say, I was keeping it positive about the Mario movie. Like I was like trying to kind of think, oh, mixed bag. Maybe, maybe the other thing that made me think like I'll still enjoy it is the fact that I knew that Universal was coming out with the Super Nintendo Land, and I was like, well, they can't fuck up the movie. That would be like a big deal. That would you can't like have Super Mario Brothers movie and not make it about the Super Mario Brothers. That would be crazy. How would you possibly sell the Nintendo Land? Well, the animation's very pretty. I can say that. They have a lot of fan service. There's a lot of video game references that people will enjoy. But member berries ain't enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have any hope. I don't know why everyone else is so hopeful.
Because it looked pretty. And there's a lot of potential there.
I'm not disappointed because
there's so much potential there. They just didn't do it right.
As soon as
it's not the Mario movie that I wanted, because it's the Princess Peach movie that some feminists wanted.
Yeah, but as soon as they said that like it was going to be Jack Black for Bowser, I was like, what? Okay.
I'm glad that I watched it on my own instead of dragging you into the theater, because
she bit the bullet bill for me.
I did. You would have hated it. They had all the Bowser cucky stuff in there, and
where he's like trying to
he's trying to marry
Princess
Peach.
Mary, yeah.
He's a total simp for her. He's not scared of Mario at all. Mario is not a threat to him at all. He's just jealous of Mario, and that's why he doesn't like Mario, because like he's getting too close to Peach.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it's supposed to be surprising that Mario beats Bowser, but I would have really liked to see them expand on the fact that Princess Peach can shape reality, because that only gets like mentioned a couple times and never shown. Because like Bowser steals the stars so he can warp reality, so that he can like create universes in the paintings and stuff.
That sounds all really, really cool.
But like Princess Peach theoretically before that was using the stars to like make a kingdom run. So like she could have been doing all sorts of stuff, like having rivers flow and like making it rain when necessary and having this agriculture like, powerhouse. She could have been doing all this stuff that would make a country successful besides, I don't know. I saw in the trailer she has like a spear or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And yeah, I know it's definitely not new for Bowser to like be trying to marry Peach. Originally, I thought it was like more political reasoning, like not actually wanting to rape her, but just like saying that he's the king and having her consent to that. But I always knew that Adam was like definitely not a fan of anything relating to that. So I just knew that he would really hate it.
I don't know. I guess I don't mind that angle that much, but I feel like it's weird with kids to, I don't know.
Like the interspecies thing?
Not even like just having it like, like weird like Kazakhstani wife kidnapping thing with like Bowser. Like I don't know. I guess it just seems weird to have to show kids that a route to like pursuing a woman is to kidnap them. Like it just, I don't know. Especially like we played the new Mario game with the hat, and as a kid I like never finished any video games. So the game starts off with a cutscene, and that's probably the only cutscene a kid is going to see, because like they can't beat the game, or I don't know. Maybe kids can beat games now. I didn't beat
They're
anything.
much easier than they used to be.
I started Mario, and that's as far as I got. We got a bunch of. We couldn't get past the staircase or whatever, but. I was shocked at the staircase. I thought that after the staircase, there was going to be a whole new set of levels, and it's just the fight. And I was like, oh, this whole time when I was a kid, I thought that there would just be more rooms. But I guess eventually your budget runs out and you have to just end the game. But yeah, so I just kind of figure a kid is going to like open up that new Mario game with a hat, and they're just going to see like Bowser kidnapping Peach and be like, well, I guess that's how you should date. It's just...
So yeah, Clownfish TV said Peach wasn't too obscene on the girl boss, but who knows? I guess it's a matter of opinion. For me, I kind of knew that. I kind of went into the movie expecting that she'd had like one or two scenes where she fights and then becomes like overpowered or something, or overpowered by the enemy force to show that she needs Mario. But that's not really what I got. I kind of felt like consistently throughout the whole movie she never needed Mario.
It would have been cool if they did a Zelda, where like Zelda beats the. I mean, granted,
Peach is not Zelda.
No, so. You know what I mean though. Like, if it was like, Bowser like, I haven't played any Zelda games. My understanding is that Zelda can beat Ganondorf, but he captures her in order to keep her from using her magic to beat him, so then Link frees her, and then that's how he wins.
Mm.
But I don't know. I'm hearing this all like second and third hand, so I don't know.
Sure.
But
yeah, up until the very, very last like act, basically, Mario doesn't do anything significant to like defeat the enemy force. Peach basically just like takes them all out on her own with a ice flower, and it's super lame.
Wouldn't it have been better if it was like Mario teaching Luigi to be brave and Luigi teaching Mario?
Oh yeah,
to
Luigi's
do
barely in the
something?
movie.
Yeah.
He's barely in the movie. My favorite character gone. Oh no. That's no good.
I don't know. I
Yeah, I know you're hearing all this secondhand, but trust me, this is all the reason why I don't like it.
Yeah.
And the more I think about what I actually watched, the more I'm kind of like, you know what? Yeah, this was a really bad movie, wasn't it?
They should have had Peach just act like...
it's a Peach movie, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they should have just had Peach act like me in Smash and just down smash, grind people up in the blender until they're just destroyed. She just shows up and spins and just crushes them.
Yeah, and you know, another thing is, even with like Mario, his character arc and everything that's going on with him in the movie, while it may not be that significant in the movie, I feel like they completely ruined a very basic hero's journey formula, because it seems like he's more capable at the beginning of the movie than he is at the end. And how the hell did that happen?
I've seen that before. Has anyone seen like the Conan remake that was with Ronan Dex from Stargate Atlantis? What the hell's that guy's name? He also played Aquaman. I don't know what the hell his name is. Ronan Dex is the actor's name. I'm just gonna go with that. They did a Conan remake, and then he as a child kills all these barbarians, and then as an adult, there's like almost it's like another one of those movies where the sword doesn't work. Like he just doesn't like I don't know. His kill count never reaches how many he killed as a child. Like when he's a little boy, he like kills all these grown men, and it was a cool enough scene as a kid. But then that's the strongest he is, and he only gets weaker as the movie progresses. And it was like a real, you know.
Yeah. So like in the beginning of the movie, when you're like
Jason Momoa, that's the one.
Yeah. When you're being introduced to Mario and Luigi, you see like them going throughout the city, and Mario's doing all this cool parkour shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is like what I'm gonna expect from Mario for the rest of the movie. That's awesome. And then he gets to Mushroom Kingdom, and then he's got to do like an obstacle course to prove that he can go on this journey with Peach. And
what?
Yeah, right. To prove that he's worthy or whatever. And he never finishes the obstacle course. He fails every single time. Throughout the whole movie, he never did it. He never did it right. That's just how they end it. Never progressed. And then he turns to Peach like, how many times did it take you to get this right? And she got it on the first try. It's like, I'm sorry, what am I watching? He was doing parkour at the beginning of this fucking movie. Why is he bad now? There's also an ongoing joke throughout the whole movie. There's this ongoing joke of like slow motion, something awesome is about to happen, and then like Mario gets like hit or something. Like they just punch him down into the ground, and it's like, haha, you thought he was going to do something awesome, but actually he's lame.
How did they find space for Donkey Kong and not Yoshi, by the way? Is that just because they didn't want all the good characters in one movie?
I don't mind them trying to do a Donkey Kong somewhere in there, because it's like, oh, well, the first game he was ever in was Jumpman versus Donkey Kong. But you're right that Donkey Kong's presence is completely unnecessary.
They should have, if they're going to shove in an unnecessary character, they should have put in Waluigi.
Wow.
Should have been Waluigi, and Wario should have just been shoved in there just for no goddamn reason.
Yeah. And they kept up that same exact joke. They did it over and over and over again, even when it made no sense to do so. Like in the final fight, spoilers, I guess, they get the star, and it does the star power up for them, and they're like, invincible. Duh. But they still do the joke regardless, and they're invincible. It's like, why? This is supposed to be a good, happy moment where I'm just enjoying them beating the shit out of Bowser, and you still have to do the, ooh, they're about to do something awesome, but nope, they did something lame. Haha. It's like, haha, they got hit by a flower, even though they're in a super powered up mode.
It does sound like I would hate the shit out of this movie.
I'm sorry.
Ugh.
I had to rant about it because, like, I know that some people are saying that they enjoyed the movie, and I know there's already some stupid culture war around it, and now it's like a Hogwarts Legacy case where, like, everyone thinks they have to go see the movie, but to, like, support it because, oh, well, the critics hate it, so therefore the fans, this movie must be for the fans if the critics hate it.
Yeah.
But no, Hogwarts Legacy is not very good, and
some of Trisha's
didn't really
some of
like
Trisha's
Mario
recommendations, like one of the thumbnails was like, Mario fucks Disney. It's like, oh, okay. It's a bit extreme.
It's a yellow flash video.
Yeah.
I just like I get what I get it. I'm disappointed in Disney too, but the movie was overall a disappointment for me.
I guess sometimes when you're just
believe it or not, I did not want the Super Peach movie. I wanted the Super Mario Bros movie. I wanted it to be about them, not about her. He's calling me crazy here. I didn't want some daddy issue Mario who, like, turns more cowardice as the movie goes on.
They could have made her competent in a way besides fighting. Because, like, I don't understand what that idea is, where it's like your only value is if you can kill someone. But it's like, I don't understand, like how many okay, it's good to, like, be competent and able to, like, protect people that you care about. But, like, how many times do you kill people every day that, like, you could only value a woman if she can murder someone? Like,
well, you know what I hate most about, like, these this modern take on princesses is the idea that you have to save yourself. Like, you can't rely on anyone. You can't ever ask for help. If you can't save yourself, you're, like, worthless. You can never, no friends. Can't rely on a guy or your significant other or anyone. Don't lean on anyone. You're on your own. And if you can't handle that, you're not a real woman. And it's like, what the fuck? That's toxic as hell.
Yeah.
That's like a really bad mindset to be teaching people, that you have to save yourself. If you're in danger, you're supposed to call out for help.
Yeah. Or just have a stroke, I guess.
But you get what I mean, right? That's not good. And another thing is with the whole guy saves the princess is guys also need to know that they're needed.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
I remember watching Sleeping Beauty, and I just thought, like, I don't know, I really liked it. And the thing that I took away from it wasn't this, like, psycho belief that, like, feminism tries to push, where it's like the princess is property somehow. It's just the idea that someday someone's going to care about your affection for them. That's all I took away from it, was like, someday someone will care. And that's it. It's just like, and also I think the whole fighting for a woman thing is just, I think it's just like the male insecurity with social stuff, because I think men are typically kind of bad socially. And being able to have a skill be impressive in place of something you don't really understand how to do, I think that's really, like, what that is. It's like, oh, well, I could be big and strong and have a parallel value, because I think men are insecure valuing their emotional value to people. Like, you know, it's just more comfortable to be like, oh yes, I can kill 1,000 men.
I wouldn't date a woman who can't even murder. That's a basic human skill.
It's a great profile picture for saying that.
That's really good. Oh man. How about the women in Horizon Quest? Well, we certainly don't have our women overshadow the men. The thing that we have in Horizon Quest is that they all have something equal to contribute to the team.
Yeah, I wanted to balance not just, like, their skill in combat, like, because all their combat skills, I kind of wanted them to balance so they're not stepping on each other's toes, so everyone kind of has a place to feel valued. But then I also wanted their personalities to sort of do the same. and kind of not step on each other's toes there either. And then I wanted their utility to be separate from both of those other two, and that to also not be stepping on each other's toes, although overlapping in certain areas. Like the elf is gonna understand like tracking and tracks and stuff, and then she sort of overlaps a little bit, but not entirely, with the druid, who has like a more naturey knowledge, and then his naturey knowledge isn't completely oh, almost spoiler, but isn't completely all encompassing, because that also overlaps with Astrid, who's an elementalist and understands the elements, especially her like
her two main elements, primarily, which is earth and fire.
Yes, and she's like more like specialized towards those two, rather than having wind or lightning and like ice and water kind of thing. And then like I wanted even sort of like the leadership to not be all on one character. So the elf Alanwi is she's more of a manager, but not necessarily like a tactician. And so Genwin, the druid, he understands how like party stuff sort of works, because his dad was an adventurer. And so as the manager, she's like ordering Genwin to tell them what to do, but she's like in charge. And so it becomes a sort of weird like shared leadership in a way. But like Genwin has none of the onus to go push them to go to another quest, whereas she would. So it's like, yeah.
It's very different types of leadership. Like someone who knows what the people need to be doing in order to win a fight, and then someone who knows how to manage the people, bring them together for other purposes.
And then like the kind of thumos, like the enthusiasm for a new quest would be more like Harkon or Astrid or something. I wanted to kind of, yeah.
What do you think of the post-credit scene? Oh, for the Mario movie? I wouldn't freak out over seeing a Yoshi egg track. It's just kind of like, oh, I like Yoshi. But it's not like a huge reveal per se. I kind of expect that they would put Yoshi in the movie at some point if they have a second movie, which they probably will, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I don't know if I said this, but I was thinking like it would have been much more interesting to see Princess Peach like work as a successful like statesman, like, or like manage things as a princess better than just
defeating an entire army on her own. Yeah,
like
I would agree with you there,
because that's a skill that should be valued, is like
being able to lead.
Yeah, like if she sends Mario and Luigi to go do something, she doesn't have to get kidnapped, but she could send Mario and Luigi to like go get the Yoshi eggs that he stole or something, and then throw in Yoshi or whatever. And then she like tells them what the plan is and whatever. So like she plans out the thing, and then they have their own skills. Like, I don't know. Like it's something you never see Princess Peach do, is actually lead her kingdom. It's just always like a big piece of shit in shambles. Like I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. It would be interesting to see what the Toads do other than be screaming and stuff. Wow! Or race cars.
even in the movies, like the Toads aren't doing anything. None of them want to like fight for their kingdom or anything. They just
Yeah, I mean, I know in like the manual for the Game Boy game, they say that like the item blocks are like soldiers that were turned into. That would
be interesting if they incorporated that.
Everybody assumes that those are toads inside the boxes that have been like transformed, but like they never. I don't think they say that they're toads, so there could be a totally different thing not seen that's like a soldier for the Mushroom Kingdom. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like if you look into like Bowser's Castle or even Luigi's Mansion, they have like the knight armor, right?
Oh yeah,
and that's like normal size. It's not like Toad size knight armor. I don't know. So it's like fun things to theorize, put together.
Yeah, I don't know.
Toads are useless. They never do anything. Well, they make a great shield for Princess Peach and Smash. She just holds up Toad.
You know what they should have done for the whole Mario movie? Had it be like really just done Mario Golf the whole time.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That would be
No,
great.
no adventure. It's only a sports anime, like just sports anime like action, but just for like Mario Golf.
Yeah. Oh, I should mention, like, the original voice actor for Mario was in like the like beginning of the movie. They had like Super Mario Bros. Commercial for their plumbing service, and then they, for some reason in the movie, they had their voices dubbed over, and there was, dubbed over by the original voice actor. And once you watch that scene, you're like, oh, that actually sounds good. It actually seems like they should have done the whole movie with that guy. And then, like, Chris Pratt, I was one of the defenders for Chris Pratt. I wanted to give him a chance. But as soon as you watch that scene and then you transition to the Chris Pratt voice, it's like, oh no. Oh no. Oh, the original was better. Oh no.
Does he do
Mamma
wahoos and
mia.
stuff? Like when
He did a wahoo.
was it? Oh no.
He did a let's go. He did a whenever he says Mamma Mia, they do slow motion, so it's more like Mamma Mia. And it's like kind of shitty. Yeah.
Oh man. That's yeah, I never had any hope, but it's kind of sad to see like young boys just like watching footage of like men just fail at everything and be like, yes, this is reality. This is you. That's you. Like, yeah. Oh well.
Sounds like the true Mario movie was Paper Mario on GameCube.
I gotta play that. People always recommend that.
Yeah. Maybe sometime on Game Fans.
Yeah.
Play the true Marios.
You'll be bored to tears though. I think it's turn-based.
Is it really?
Yeah, Paper Mario is a turn-based RPG, right?
I thought it was another platformer.
I think there's platforming too, but
I guess it's been a while since I saw Paper Mario floating around.
we still gotta finish Final Fantasy X.
We gotta finish a lot of things.
Yeah.
You gotta finish Oblivion.
Shut the fuck up.
Still haven't closed the
Do it when I
Oblivion
want
gates.
to.
Play it and then play RPG Mario. There's an RPG Mario game.
Are you talking about like the ones on Game Boy where it was like Superstar Saga, maybe, and then what was the one where it was like
Paper Mario is
babies?
mostly a turn-based JRPG
I knew it.
series. Yeah. Okay. There you go. But yeah.
Dude, you haven't. There's someone saying you haven't finished Oblivion. Listen, I have played thousands of hours of Oblivion. See, what happened was
There's a story behind that.
my
yeah.
first Oblivion disc. It just died, right? And I just played it too much. You just run down the disc. You just play it too much. It's just spinning too much. It just scratches a little bit. Like the needle just takes a little bit off. And it just breaks. Eventually, the disc will just stop working. So I got another one. And then another one. And then that one, I think it was my third Oblivion disc. It must have gotten scratched. I think it was the real sad truth is probably it was like out and then it got put away. But like I don't think my parents understand CDs at all. Like,
they like palm it.
I was like, I took out a CD that like an old like Epcot music CD to play for my parents on like the holidays, and then my mom was taking it out of the thing and she was just thumbing the underside of the disc, and then I was like, you can't do. I was like emphatic, like, why do you do this? I've told you like 1,000 times. She's like, I'll remember next time. I was like, there will be no next time. This is the last CD you're ever going to touch. You haven't touched a CD in a couple years. You're never going to, the technology's over. You don't have a disk drive on your computer. I had
You missed the era
You
of
missed
CDs.
it. You failed. This is complete mission failure. You will never have a chance to get it right with CDs ever. This is it. We're done. CDs are gone. They're already replaced. I had to buy an external CD drive so that I could put music on my computer. There's no more CD drives. This CD player bolted to the cabinet is the last one in the world, in fact. There's no more CDs. But anyway, there was a scratch on my Oblivion disc, and whenever a Dremora would scream at the start of a fight, that was what would crash the game. And so I always avoided Oblivion Gates and the main quest and the Mages Guild. No, the Thieves Guild. I couldn't finish the Thieves Guild because after you steal the staff from the head of the Mages Guild, the Ice Staff, Dremora goes to tell the captain of the guard that the staff was returned, and then that crashes the game. Him talking that voice line, whatever he does, it crashes the game. So I just didn't play the main quest, and I just would, anytime I saw an Oblivion Gate, I would run away before the game could crash. Or I would shoot them with an arrow of immolation that I duplicated using a glitch on my Xbox. I had infinite arrows of immolation that I only used for killing them from super, super far away before they could talk. Anyway, I have a lot of hours in Oblivion, but I never did the main quest. I just always did all the guilds and stuff, you know?
Right.
Or just wandered around. I don't know.
Well, that's why he wants to defeat it now.
Yeah, now that
he has it on Steam, and doesn't have to worry about that.
Now that I have it on PC, I've been reunited with. I guess I've been playing for a couple of years now, but
have you finished Infernal? That's another one.
No, I haven't finished
We have
Infernal.
one last part to do of Infernal, and we'll be done. But we haven't done it yet.
My favorite line, maybe in existence, is the Dremora when they detect you from sneaking. They go, "I smell weakness." It's just so good. And then there's one that lives on in Bethesda games. What's the matter? Can't stand the sight of your own blood when they're fighting you. But it's kind of ruined because there's so many old grandmothers that have slashed me with a dagger after I stole a cup, going, what's the matter? Can't stand the sight of your own blood. It's that's a little
that doesn't really fit
for an innkeeper to say.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish Oblivion though.
I believe you.
Yeah, for
play more fantasy games for
the campaign. I'll do
fantasy campaign, fantasy comic. You might as well. It's for fantasy lovers, and we got only a little bit left to go until we reach the 2,000 mark. Let's do a refresh. Why not? Hey. Close enough. We did it.
That's Trisha's birthday now.
Like I was born in 2014. FBI, open up.
Were you 7 then? No.
Oh boy.
That's not how math works.
No, is there more spam bots in the discussion? Yes, there are. Yes, there are. Every time. They're just waiting to attack.
Does that help the SEO or anything?
No. Oh. They're just fucking with me. God, it's such a huge problem. Because I get an email notification every time someone comments, so it's just annoying. All these spams when I just want to talk to the people who are actually backing the campaign.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just thinking I went up to a food truck to get food after Trisha went there and got food, and then the guy was like, "Oh, are you here with that girl or whatever?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, and she's like, "Oh, is that your daughter?" And I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
Yes, my father.
I don't think I look that old. It's like, what the fuck is that? And he was like, he was so embarrassed. He's like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry." And then
that was the first and only time I heard that one, but that's pretty funny.
And then we were talking to someone else, and they were like, boyfriend girlfriend, like brother and sister. I was like, a boyfriend girlfriend, and then she was like, "Oh, good. I don't, I was like, oh, don't worry. At least you didn't confuse us for father daughter, and then she starts laughing like, I wouldn't be that bad, and I was like, oh, you laugh, but then she was like, she cuts me off and she goes like, I work with my brother on this food truck. He's actually here today, and I was like, oh, that's funny because he thought
You don't say.
And she was like, oh, I gotta go right now and bust his balls.
That's a good story.
She goes over to make fun of her brother because when she works with her brother, they think that they're husband and wife instead of brother and sister.
To be fair, Trisha looked really young. I've been told that, but I mean, how young would I have to be his daughter?
Yeah.
Like, if you do the math, I'm not that young. Even, like,
Yeah.
I've had people mistake me for, like, a high schooler, which is like, okay, fine. Or early mid-20s, maybe you can mistake them for being high schoolers.
Maybe, but it's like...
But I don't look 7.
Yeah. To be... Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, whatever. That was a really funny story, though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My mom told me a story. She was seeing like 2 patients or whatever, and she goes like, oh, does your mom want to come in with you to the appointment? And then she's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Like, she's like, yes, like she's like this victory, and she's like, that's my sister, ah, ha, ha, in your face, like. My mom's getting in the middle of something and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, people say it all the time. It's fine. I get this all the time. I just look old. She's like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But, you know.
Yeah, so my mom was like, you should never assume, ever. I know I'll never do it again. I'll always be like, you're, and then wait for them to say.
That's the strategic way to go about it. I feel you, Trish. I'm about to be 20 and I still look like I'm 13. I remember when I was 15, a guy I knew said he thought I was 12. Then told me to take it as a compliment because it means I look young.
Yeah, better than being 15
Eternally
and someone
young.
being like, oh, I thought you were 45.
Yeah, you have to be in really rough shape if you're like super young and you look like you're over the hill.
Sometimes when we're watching like Hell's Kitchen or something, and then someone will be like, it's like, I'm 32, and we're like, whoa.
Life really knocked you in the face, huh?
You shouldn't smoke. You really shouldn't smoke.
Yeah.
It's like
it's got an aging effect on you.
Yeah, sometimes you see some people in like those shows, like most of the contestants will smoke because being a chef is like a really stressful job, and smoking is very common.
Well, it's more common like in the earlier seasons of like Hell's Kitchen when like, you know, it's not as advertised against to don't smoke type thing. But yeah, and then they grow up in rough shape because they've been like smoking all their lives, and their palate is like going out because smoke is like ruining you and all bad stuff. Yeah.
That was something my mom used to deal with. My mom's a nutritionist, and she would have like patients that didn't want to stop smoking because they didn't want to like they thought they would gain weight with stopping smoking because it curbs your appetite.
Right, I have heard that. Or something along those lines, yeah.
But I feel like you could just drink tea instead.
I feel like there are much better ways to lose weight than to smoke. For sure. When you're 70, you'll look like a wrinkled 20-year-old. It's an interesting way to put it. I'll look like Gordon Ramsay, where he always kind of looks young and wrinkled at the same time in like the older shows. He's just always had wrinkles, like even as a high schooler.
I'm surprised Kingdom Hearts, or it's surprised Disney isn't clapping back by announcing Kingdom Hearts the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be something that I would totally imagine them doing, but I don't know how successful they would necessarily be with being able to do that.
I'm sure it'd be horrible, but
you know how it is.
yeah.
There's a lot of meta, let's smash a bunch of IPs together in one movie type things out there. They already did like the Chip and Dale, where they tried to do that, where they just smash a bunch of IPs into one movie and then do a Toontown type thing.
Yeah, I've already got like a big backlog of like games to play and like stuff to watch. I think I'll be fine in my like bunker, weathering the storm, wait for stuff to
stuff to be good again.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I also I have a bunch
I
of things left to read and watch.
I still got to finish Infernal after all. So, and Oblivion.
That's true.
Yeah,
all true.
I'm gonna be streaming Oblivion at some point. Yeah, playing through the main quest, and maybe the other quest too. Oh, I can get the armor that you get. You get like special armor. You get the dragon something armor. You beat the game. That'll be cool.
Yeah. I don't know how long you wanted to stream for, but we've been going on for like about an hour and a half.
Oh, we should do another refresh.
I'll do another refresh. I feel like we just did a refresh.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
No refresh.
Mm.
Trisha says no.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Is there any other questions you have about the comic? About a fantastic comic, or maybe like the book that Adam is also funding alongside the comic?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, big titty woman can't have that in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Booba.
I don't know.
It took me so long to find the right lettering for this.
Shit.
I took some like fonts and like edited them to like be its own thing, and now it's nice and unique.
Yeah.
And yeah,
pretty.
More big booba lady.
Yeah, you know,
Call the police.
Yeah. I showed this to like a friend, and they were like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "I don't know." I wanted it to feel sort of like not a retro fantasy style, but I kind of wanted those vibes in a way, that sort of essence, because like I remember seeing like old like retro fantasy art and it just looking like crazy, like this thing right here. This is like
the Frank Frazetta.
It's like, what the fuck is going on there? You know, this piece. It's like when I first saw this, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? They're in space. And he's got a sword, not a laser. It's just like there's something about like old school fantasy art that like
retro fantasy art is just really fucking good. I gotta say,
it just makes me.
They don't make them like they used to. It's 100% true. It's very different angles that they're going at in modern art.
It makes me want to know what is going on in the story, and I thought that's since it's a standalone story and not a series. I thought the important thing to get across was like try to get people interested in that story that's in the book, and so that's why I wanted to do that. And like I feel like that sort of old school representation of a mage is like not having lots of armor on or not having lots of like clothes on in general. I thought it was I like that kind of aesthetic. It used to be a lot more common. Like there was I was over a friend's house and they have all these old school RPG books, and they had I think it was 3rd edition. There's some sorcerer character who has like a shit ton of belts on his pants and no shirt on, and like that's just like what he wears, right? And I was like, fuck yeah, that's a sorcerer. That's what they're supposed to, you know, because maybe it's just a sort of video gamey kind of feeling, but it's like if you're not gonna have a high defense stat, doesn't it make sense for them not to have a lot of clothes so that it looks visually like logical? Also, I mean, part of it's not all like video game logic. Like I said, it's important, I think, for characters in a party to not be stepping on each other's toes so that they can each feel special and have weaknesses that make others feel special by covering up their weaknesses, by all being able to help each other. And so there's something about that where I feel like if you have a wizard that kind of can cover all of their bases, like their super high defense and offense, and like they can just do everything, it, you know, and part of not having a lot of armor on kind of makes them seem sort of
Vulnerable in
yeah,
in a physical sense.
vulnerable, but then also like dangerous. Because if you're willing to dress sort of like without lots of protection on, you must be a dangerous person. Like if you see a guy who's like, you know, he's got no shirt on, but he's got so many buckles, like 10 times Seto Kaiba buckles on just his pants, and he's like got magic. He's got to have really good magic, right? I mean, he has no shirt.
That
Like,
guy's a threat.
yeah, that he's dangerous. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what to talk about with the book. It's kind of
Oh, guys, for those of you who like were with us on the last stream, we finally sold the Genwin art. All the original art is gone. That's why you gotta get them fast, guys. And 10 out of 50 of the ultimate bundles claimed.
fuck yeah.
1/5 of the ultimate bundles gone. Very nice, guys.
Got 7 double book bundles. It's exciting.
Yeah.
People want to read my book.
It is a nice looking book. Neutron Board did a really, really good job with the cover.
Yeah, he did. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I also with it I know a lot of fantasy is sort of vaguely English landscapes. And I kind of wanted to do something more Germanic because, you know, when I see a big valley or a big mountain, it makes me think of adventure, but there's not a lot of stories that take place on giant mountains, or I guess there are, but I don't know. I wanted to take a crack at that because it's just. I think it's easier to just say they're in a big open field, so you don't have to describe like the area, or you don't have to deal with the terrain bothering them in any way. But yeah,
there's a different type of charm to having there being like really intricate terrain that they move through, explore through, and sometimes get caught up in. Becomes dangerous, you know. But definitely different charms with both styles. What is the ultimate bundle? Well, the ultimate bundle, you get... It's basically like the Give Me Everything tier, but you got the addition of Vera in her helmet. It's basically like a big acrylic standee holder, and that's very fun.
It's like a little diorama. You get like sword bookmark.
Yeah, sword bookmark.
My book.
His book.
2, count them, 2 posters.
Both of the posters, and of course a signed copy of Horizon Quest. And that's the ultimate bundle. It's the biggest bundle that we got.
I signed my book.
Yeah. Both all books are signed, so no worries there.
Yeah.
But yeah, exciting stuff.
Yeah, the book is I guess I don't know. I guess I wrote a better summary than I can like deliver out loud. But
do you want to just read your summary?
No, I don't. Don't want to read it.
Don't want to look at it.
Get out of it. So it's like a sort of battle mage character. Like he uses a sword, but he has a few little like spells that are kind of minor, and then he has to use them sort of creatively to get the same kind of results. Sort of like X-Men in a way, where like you see like an X-Men that has sort of a very specialized power, and then they end up using it for a lot of stuff because they have to be creative with it. Okay, can we take this away? Jesus.
Can you relax?
It's sticking to my hair.
Okay.
I just. It's fixed.
Good job. Anyway, what were you saying?
Yeah, like the anyway, like X-Men using powers creatively. Like I read one comic where Cyclops escaped from the cops by jumping and then shooting his laser beam at a car, and then he shot himself to the top of a building. And I was like, oh, that's really creative. But then I was like,
snap your neck off.
yeah, that was the second thing I thought. I was like, oh, that's really neat. And then I was like, wait a second, how come
This must be some really good super suits
wouldn't
you
he
got
just
there.
wouldn't he just always be like like blast his skull open?
Yeah, right. Oh man. You know.
Oh, you know, it'd be great if you have Juggernaut and he carries around a ramp if he wants to go up. He throws down a ramp in front of him and walks up the ramp so he can launch himself into the sky. And then he throws a ramp up in the other direction, and then he like walks along that so he goes the other way. That's like Thor logic where he spins the hammer and then
Yeah, right. Logic that worked out a little bit better, I feel like, in the comics, but wouldn't go as well in live action form.
Wish I could have gotten the Ultimate Bundle, but I don't live in America. I wish you could have gotten the Ultimate Bundle too.
I have been looking into international shipping.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm getting the best price, and therefore like looking at every possible option before I settle with something that's like way too expensive. And
the super basic option is like a $40 flat rate mailer, you know, but that's like expensive shipping.
Yeah, you better be getting a lot of comics if I'm using a flat rate shipper.
Yeah, I gotta say, better deal on shipping than getting 300 books from overseas. But you know.
Oh well, yeah. I think I might have found something that might be the cheapest, but I gotta be sure. So I gotta like check as many countries as possible and then compare prices with another place. So there's just a little bit more work that needs to be done before I settle on something.
Yeah, is there like is there like international demand? Should we add a international buyer of physical stuff tier?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess you'll always, when you're getting fans from the internet, you'll always have some fans that are like from overseas and from far away, and that makes sense.
Then we should yeah.
I do want to figure out international shipping. I also like way in the future, I think it would be really cool to have like some of my comics translated into different languages. But that's way in the future. That's like a little bit much for now, you know.
Oh, we have someone from Canada wants a. I don't know why shipping to Canada is so ungodly expensive.
I don't know.
I just like there's my tiny like book of short stories. It's like I sent this to like a reviewer. It's tiny book, right? Short stories are supposed to be short, and like when I first came out with this, everyone flipped through and was like, "No, it's not that many pages." It's like, yeah, those are short stories.
They're short stories. That's how it is.
You work hard to make them shorter.
It's a beautiful book, and this is like his first one, so you know.
Yeah.
This cost a lot to ship to Canada.
Yeah, it was like $30. It's like
it's so tiny.
I don't know. It was a book reviewer, and I thought it was worth it. I thought there'd be sales pouring in from their blog, and
that's brutal.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that's why I want to do like research on it and make sure that I'm getting like the best deal. Because not only because I don't want to accidentally pay more than I need to, but I don't want to charge way more than I need to.
If you had to set up a general option for like anywhere in the world, a flat rate anywhere in the world box does exist that is $40.
Yeah, but that's
But
a lot
I know.
for shipping.
You could definitely get cheaper to some places. Like Canada, I'm sure there's
sure there's a
gotta
cheaper
be-
option than $30.
How much
for
does
that
it
little
cost
book.
to like pay someone who lives in North Dakota to walk over and just throw it?
Chuck it.
Just throw it. Border the Mounties got nothing. You have to guy in North Dakota willing to fight Mounties and walk like 10 feet north. Gotta not be that expensive. Gotta at least be $29. There's a lot of people in North Dakota can fight. Especially mounted cavalry. They can train. They have lots of halberdiers.
Yeah, that was catapulted over. Yeah, Never's got the right idea. We'll find another way. Don't you worry about how.
German O-Girl LFG.
Yeah. But you know, it's still a little bit a ways away before I have it completely figured out. But I do think I'm pretty close to doing the international campaigns.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you guys, I don't know what the next campaign is going to be after this because I'm still trying to figure out exactly when Sonic City Witch will be finished.
Mhm.
I wanted to launch the Sonic City Witch campaign this year, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Mhm.
I think it might get pushed to next year. And if it does get pushed to next year, I'll do a different comic campaign this year for something else that I had. But I don't know. Which is the only reason why there hasn't been any official announcements for the rest of the books for this year on to next year. It's just because I don't know which one is coming first. You know? That's one of those things.
Cannons are legal in most places in the U.S., but I don't know about shooting over the Canadian border. Cannons are really easy to get your hands on. It's a different kind of license than a gun license.
Oh yeah, packages might be slightly damaged. Not any more than the normal United States Post Office would damage them. You ever see like the videos of the like postman just taking out the anger on whatever package they're delivering?
Yeah.
That makes me nervous. You make a Japanese Horizon Quest and people might think it's an actual manga. Well, I could probably definitely find people to like translate them in Japanese because I know a lot of weebs online. But you know, the other problem with translating it to Japanese though is that you also have the panels that they're going the opposite way because you know it's read differently. So I'd also have to like include another page where it explains how to read it in American style, like they do with the manga, where it's like, "Whoa, stop! You're reading the wrong way, you dumb fuck! Turn it around." You remember that? They probably still do that in like the newer manga.
Yeah,
but
a cultured man of myself, of course I know, but I just picked up like the Bleach manga that continues from where the show left off. I open it the wrong way, and then it instantly...
You're reading the wrong direction. Turn it around.
I just instantly flipped past all those pages and spoil the end, and I was like...
Yeah, right. I got it. Don't worry about me. Yeah, do it. I bought my first manga not long ago. The book's reversed. Pretty cool. Yeah, I do. There are the early manga where they would actually just reverse the panels instead of like having the "whoa, you're reading the wrong direction." They would actually mirror it so they would be in the right direction.
But then I guess if you start doing complicated stuff like
yeah, well, the thing is, like, if characters, the symmetry is not quite like if they have a scar on one side of the face, and then it all gets mirrored and it's not quite right.
Some of the panels can be kind of confusing where it's like stacked, like the thing.
Right. So they stopped doing that, but at one point they were doing that. And you know, it's probably better just to teach people how to read it in the traditional Japanese way. Because like I'm willing to learn things. It's fine. It's the same thing with like how people want to always with like the translators, they want to make it match something close to our culture when they're translating something, but like you can teach me something new if I don't recognize something.
All those donuts, all those
the jelly
donuts in
yeah,
Pokemon.
Exactly.
They're having like, clearly rice balls, and they're like jelly
you
donuts.
You can say rice balls. I'll look it up and figure out what it is.
Because it's more confusing to say jelly donuts.
It's like clearly not a jelly donut. But you know.
I remember that, and I remember like saying to my brother, like, "Oh, he doesn't know what that's called either. He's calling it a jelly donut." So I was asking Brian what it is.
What kind of jelly donut is that? What kind of donuts are triangles? It's fucking weird. Yeah, you got a lot of those in rice donuts. Yeah, right. Yeah, sometimes when I read comics, after reading a bunch of manga, I almost read the panels the wrong way. Same.
Yeah.
I've caught myself like mixing them up a couple times. Did you see John Wick 4? Thoughts? I stopped after John Wick 2.
Yeah, I haven't seen John Wick 3.
Yeah, I heard some people saying that John Wick 4 was like a good finale, but I wouldn't know anything about that. Because I mean, the first one was like solid, but the second one I feel like he's kind of grasping a bit.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a new movie. It just felt like a more bland version of the first movie again. And then just added more people now he has to fight. And it didn't hook me to continue reading the next movie.
Yeah, the beginning of the second movie, that's a cool setting. The rave in the catacombs idea. But I don't know what it was. It was just I guess they were trying to like ramp it up with the machine guns and stuff. Like they're trying to do bigger guns and pistols. And they kept with the whole thing of him getting injured, but it's like the first fight scene, so you're kind of like, well, he's gonna get through the whole movie, so you're just gonna have to forget about the limp, you know. So
yeah, but you know, sometimes not everything needs to be a series. That's kind of how I view things, but sometimes, you know, series are the way to go. I don't know. Does he get a new girlfriend? Or does he just get like 9 new dogs?
He becomes an old dog lady.
Yeah, right. At some point, like he levels up and he becomes like the guy from Alita, where it's all like robo dogs now. You're right and you're wrong. Oh, you're right and you're right. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. You know. Ugh. There's definitely a bunch of movies, newer movies especially, that I just haven't really gotten into. Either because of a lack of interest or a lack of trust that the movie will be good. But I also have a whole backlog of older stuff I gotta get into, so I'm not entirely super worried from missing out on something.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a really, really big recommendation, like, oh man, this is actually the best movie on earth. And even then, I'm kind of like, I don't know if that's actually the best movie on earth or if you're just overhyping it.
Matterhorn hasn't seen Alita yet.
Alita's pretty solid.
Yeah. Alita's worth watching. That's a good thing to look forward to, I guess, is like if you haven't seen Alita's good. What's impressive about Alita is that they're not afraid of hurting the main character, even though it's a female character. So you get to see a good like story, whereas you could never really hurt a female in any Marvel movie because then it would be like hate speech or something. Like there was a poster of Apocalypse like choking out Mystique, and then they were like,
That was
"Oh,
pretty funny.
this is casual like violence against women." It was like, I don't think there's anything casual about someone lifting someone up by their throat and choking them. There's also, it's Apocalypse. What's wrong with you? You think Mystique can fight Apocalypse? It's ridiculous. That's the most preposterous thing I've heard. What's she gonna do? Transform into a clown and then get punched in the face and go honk, and then he's like, haha, I'll stop beating you now. Like, what's the plan? Like, you're Mystique. Like, whoa, you pull out your Uzis? Oh, good.
It's Madame Mystique can't save yourself. Sounds like you're not a real woman, then.
Maybe you should transform into a man, and then you'll do better. You swim away from him.
Yeah, there you go.
It was like, I don't know. Like I read like the article that the person like wrote about, because I was like so curious, like what could they even be talking about? It's like, oh, they literally don't know anything about the comics. They're just like, oh, it's a woman. It's like, no, it's a supervillain, and there's another supervillain. Like, you don't have to feel bad for her. She's evil. What's your problem? Like,
oh man, fucking modern article. They just let anyone write articles about anything they want these days. Just so long as it's like getting the clicks, it's like nobody cares if it's just the most stupidest shit.
That's what happens when you let normies into our look into our stuff. Correct. Yeah. No, it's just stupid.
Yeah, I guess.
I watched that movie because I thought Apocalypse was such a cool looking villain, but it was also bad, as you can imagine. I don't know why I like thought it would be good. They had Apocalypse be like super skinny for a lot of the movie, and I was like, it was so weird, like seeing skinny Apocalypse. It's like, no, he's a thick, muscly boy. Like, I don't know. And I don't think he got any horsemen in the movie. I don't think he did. Maybe he. You get one person gets corrupted or something, but it's not like the same thing. It's not like how it was where he got like crazy strong people and then they were all like.
Yeah, I can't say that I remember too much, but I don't know. I think maybe we'll end the stream a little bit soon.
Okay.
A little bit soon. Maybe like 10 more minutes and we'll call it a night.
Yeah.
Do another refresh, see how our campaign is doing. Hey.
Oh, do you want to tell people about the tip thing?
Oh, the Indiegogo tip thing?
Yeah,
I did an update kind of talking about that. I didn't know about this until like your mom was backing the campaign and she mentioned it. And as it turns out, like, I don't remember this at all with me backing other campaigns, but there's like an Indiegogo tip option, and it's just like automatically set to like a number, right?
Yeah.
And
it's set to like $13. Like yeah. my mom was like,
that's a lot.
How do I change it? Like, like it won't. I was like, you just click and like, you have to. It's actually hard. You have to click a drop down. It says another number, and then you do 0. And then
you hit 0. Yeah. There's no option for no tip.
Yeah.
There's no like easy no tip.
And button. when you're putting the tip in, there's a question mark that's like, find out more about where the tip goes, and you have to click that. And then there's a FAQ, and then like the FAQ will tell you somewhere in there. It just goes to Indiegogo, and they rationalize why they need the money and stuff. And it's like,
I just want to make sure people know that's not going to me, and I didn't set that up. Yeah. I didn't put that there. I'm not getting any of that money. I didn't steal $13 from you.
Yeah.
So
and
be wary about it.
At the bottom of the FAQ, it says you can get you can refund that separately from your contribution. It was like the last question, which I guess because a lot of people are asking.
It's so deceptive though, because they make it seem like it's a tip to the creator when it's not.
So grimy. It's so grimy.
Yeah.
It's like,
if you need money, that's not how you do it.
My mom's not that
company.
She's not that tech savvy, but
still, I can imagine other people being confused about how to take that off, and then just being like, "Oh well, I guess it's just another fee." Like she came over to us saying that what's this extra fee? What's the $13 extra fee?
Yeah.
Like she didn't understand. She just.
If it was my dad doing, he wouldn't have even asked. He would have been like, "Oh yeah, sure."
Like, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pretty grimy. Not a fan of that. Indiegogo.
But yeah, if
you got all this spam comments and you got some shady Indiegogo tip that's going straight to your pocket.
But yeah, if there is like international interest, we can figure it out. We'll figure out how to.
I've been looking into it. I get distracted here and there because I'm working on so many comics. But
it's only been live for like 2 days. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. We'll figure it out for the future for sure. I feel like I'm pretty close. I feel like I might have found an affordable option, but I want to be sure. I want to be sure that is the most affordable I can get it, or if I can get it lower, then I would want to do that. And yeah, geez, Indiegogo. Yeah. Like if I wanted to contribute extra to the campaign, yeah. So there's like, I think the only like option, if you wanted to contribute extra, it used to just have a donate button up at the top here, and I know because
I know how to do it. When I was trying to click through to see how confusing it was, because it could just be my mom did something wrong.
The options, yeah, you make a contribution at the top.
Type that, and
that's how you can put extra into the project.
Yeah, so you could type a different amount here, like cents. Oh,
no, you can't donate. It's dollars. You can't.
$0. Oh.
No, it only does. You can't.
You can't do $1.
That's $1, right?
Oh.
You can't do less than $1. It won't let you do cents.
That's ridiculous.
Well, because they're taking a percentage out of it.
So you did that, and then you did.
Let's just say goodnight, and we'll see you next time, next stream, next video. Yeah, maybe on the Game Fan stream at some point.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.